All right, so we're going to keep talking about volume. What do you know about volume?
That it's outside perimeter. No, it's the way. There's three.
Peyton, what do you know about volume? Width, length, and height. That is right. Width, length, and height. Isaac, what do you know about volume? Inside of a 3D shape. What shape have we been talking about? Rectangular prism. That is correct. And we will continue talking about rectangular prisms. So get used to it. All right, so let's look at the question on page 37 at the top. So Gareth has a rectangular pencil cup on his desk. The cup is 3 inches long, 2 inches wide, and 5 inches high. What is the volume of the pencil cup? So use what you know about volume to solve that problem. And do not forget your units. Do not forget your units. All right, so let's talk about this answer. So Gareth has a cup 3 inches long, 2 inches wide, 5 inches high. What is the volume? Alyssa, tell me how to solve that problem.
Okay, so the first thing I did was multiply 3 times 5.
3. Oh, hold on. Why am I not writing? Still not writing. She did 3 times 5. That is gigantically thick. Let's change that. Why? Oh, because it's on the fat one. Okay. All right. Anyways, continue.
And then I got 15. And then I multiplied 15 times 2.
Okay, so she got 15, and then she did 15 times 2. Okay.
And I got 30 cubic inches.
30 cubic inches.
That's what I got.
Okay. Anybody do something different? Peyton, what'd you do?
I did times 2 gave me 10. I got multiply that by 30.
Okay. Isabella?
I did 3 times 2, get 6, and 6 times 5, get 30 cubic inches.
We see a pattern here. They're all the same answer, right? It doesn't matter what order you do it in. You're still going to get the same answer. All right, Connor, what did you do?
I did 3 plus 2. And then I got 5, and then I plus 5. No, never mind.
Okay.
I just now thought about that.
Okay.
I might have found it.
I bet you did. All right, Anna, what'd you do?
Instead of 3 times 5, I did 5 times 3.
5. Okay, so you just did yours backwards. Okay, so a lot of multiplication going on. So if you remember correctly, yesterday we talked about the formula V equals fancy L times W times H. There's your L. There's your W. There's your H. Okay. Why was that called a formula? Do you remember? Blaine, why was that called a formula?
Because you have to measure all of them together.
All of them, what are they? Height, length, and width. Ania? No? So why is that a formula? Why do we say that's a formula, Alyssa?
Because it's a way to get a number.
It's the way to get an answer. So we have a formula that has letters in it that tells us, and we know what each letter represents. Okay, that makes it a formula. We know that L stands for length, W stands for width, and H stands for height. V stands for what? V stands for volume. We know what all of those letters mean. We just have to read the problem, so it'll tell us what to put where. All right, go to page 38. So I'm not going to attempt to draw that because it's already up there for me, because we know how that goes. All right, so you could have drawn a picture and used your unit cues. Okay, so you can see you have 3 across here. 5 is our height. And 2 here is our width. So we still have the same numbers. Okay? You can still multiply all of those and get the same answer. Okay? So, counting your cubes is still an option. If we count these, how many do I have on that front face? How many? 15. How many rows of 15? Times 2, which still makes my answer 30 cubic inches. Okay? So it's still the same. Still the same answer. We have the same numbers. We're going to get the same answer. Right? We good so far? All right, let's look at the model it down below that. So now we just have the box with no cubic thingies. I forgot what they were called for. Units. Thank you. Unit cubes. Okay, so now we just have the box, but we still have our numbers there. Remember, these are our two formulas. Length times width times height, or base times height. What was base? What did that represent? The B was what? Anna? Nope. What did the B represent? Area of the base. So B was the area of your base, which is length times width. Okay? Still the same numbers. You're still multiplying the same numbers. It just uses a different letter there instead of writing the L and the W. Okay? We ready to move on? Okay, let's look at page 39. All right, page 39, number 1. Explain how you can find the volume of the pencil cup using the prism shown in the picture it part. How can you do that? Peyton, how can you do that? Multiply. We can multiply. How else could we have done it? Count. How else? Add. Those are the same 3 things we've seen for the last week and a half. You can multiply, you can count them, you can add them. All right, number 2, explain how the area of the base of the prism shown in model it relates to the prism in picture it. So how does the area of the base relate? How does that relate, Alyssa?
Well, they're the same.
They're the same. Same as what? Your area is the same thing as what?
As the rectangle.
Area is what? Length times width. Area is length times width. That's how they relate to each other. We still have length times width in the other one. Okay? Still have length times width there, except it's area in our other one. All right, number 3. Explain how you can use the prism in Model It to find the volume of the pencil cup. Multiply or add. We can't count because in that one we don't have any unit cubes. All right, number 4. Use the volume formulas. Okay, so I'm going to write them over here. So we have length times width times height. And then we have base times height. Okay? So use the volume formulas shown in Model It to write 2 different multiplication equations you can use to find the volume of the pencil cup. So if we're going to use Model It, okay, we're going to do our length times width times height first. What is our length? 3. Length means how long, okay? So length is 3. What is our width? 2. What is our height? 5. We still get 30, right? Okay. Our other one B is length times width. So if we do length times width, what do we get? Length times width. What number do we get? Length times width. What did you tell me length was?
3.
What did you tell me the width was?
2.
So if you do length times width, you get 6 times our height, which was 5. I still get 30. Still get 30. All right, number 5. Explain how you can use the dimensions of a rectangular prism to find its volume. What does the word dimensions mean? Blaine, what's dimensions? Nope. What is a dimension? Alyssa? Mm-hmm. Colin?
It's the D and 2D.
It is the D in 2D or 3D, but what are we referring to when we're talking about volume? What are the dimensions? Say it again. Times length, width, and height. Those are our dimensions. Length, width, and height. How do we use those to find the volume? We multiply them together. We multiply to find the volume. All right, we're going to skip number 6 because at this point, you know whether you multiply, count, or add. You know at this point. So we're going to skip number 6. We're going to move on to number 7 on page 40. All right, we're going to work this one together. Okay? So what is the volume of a rectangular jewelry box with a length of 12 centimeters, a width of 7 centimeters, and a height of 5 centimeters? Show your work. So I need to use this formula. Length times width times height. My next step, I need to plug my numbers in. What did it tell me my length was?
12, 7, 5.
What is my width? What is my height? All right, so let's start with 12 times 7. What is 12 times 7? 84. So we have 84. And we have 5 left. So now we have to do 84 times 5. So you may have to use your brain. Let's see if I can do it before y'all do it. 420 cubic centimeters.
This is why you're a math teacher.
I love me some multiplication.
I know. It's crazy. Have you seen that world fastest multiplication dude? He can answer like any problem in less than 5 seconds.
All right. Now, would it have mattered if could I have done 12 times 5 first? Yeah, I could have done 12 times 5 because it doesn't matter what order you do them in. You're still going to get the same answer. Okay? It is 60. Okay? So, you can do them in any order. You can do the multiplication in any order you choose. You'll still get the same answer. So, let's look at number 8.
Thank you.
That was me doing it. You don't have to write that part down. That was me showing my work. All right. All right. So number 8. How much space is taken up by a book that is 12 inches long, 10 inches wide, and 1 inch tall? So I want you to do this one on your own. And then we're going to share out our answers. A rectangular prism has a volume of 100 cubic meters. Okay, so our volume is 100. Okay, volume 100 cubic. And if you don't know, meters is M, just an M. One of the dimensions is 5. Which pairs, so that means we have more than one answer, of measurements could be the other 2 dimensions of the prism? Okay, so let's do it this way. 20 times 1 is what? 20 times 5 is 100. So is A an option? Yes. All right, B, 5 times 10 is what? 50 times 5 is what? 250. Is that an option? No, because we have to have 100. All right, 10 times 10 times 5. Is that an option? Definitely not. Way too much. 4 times 5 times 5? 100. So that's an option too. Well, if 10 times 10 times 5 was an option, then obviously 20 times 20 times 5 is also not going to be an option.
That's too high.
So our answers are A and D. A and D. All right, anybody have any questions?